Welcome to this webinar on public and school library partnerships. Thanks for joining me. My name is Gretchen Oates, and I currently work as a library assistant at the Avondale Public Library. Prior to this, I spent 8 years as a school librarian working with grades K through 8. This topic is important to me because I have been on both sides of library partnerships and have seen the value for all parties. When I was a school librarian, I had a strong partnership with our public librarian. And now, working in a public library, I'm missing having that same collaboration. Today's webinar will be a combination of research and examples from my own experience. If you work in either a public or school library, I will provide information to get you started with building a partnership that will benefit you and your patrons. First, I'd like to discuss why we need public and school library partnerships. In a 2015 Pew Research Center study, 85% of respondents believed that public libraries should coordinate with K through 12 schools. By sharing a population, both libraries have a great opportunity to promote the love of libraries, meet information needs, support literacy and learning, and create future-ready students. As of 2003, there are more public libraries than McDonald's in the U.S., and younger generations are using public libraries more than older generations did. This is a great opportunity for us. I'd like to discuss some of the most common barriers to partnerships and how we can turn those into benefits. When it comes to institutions funded by local taxpayers, budget is extremely important. School libraries often have a tiny budget which they have to use on collection items, supplies, programs, and materials. When I was a school librarian, there was a wide variety of budgets across the schools in our district. Some libraries received their funding from the PTA, others through building funds. Funding was dependent on the school or PTA's budget as well as the value placed on the library. Each year, I wrote a proposal to justify my proposed budget, plus I wrote multiple grants to supplement our funds. If it wasn't for the partnership with our public library, we wouldn't have been able to bring in amazing programs such as author visits, science demonstrations, writing workshops, and more. A study done by Vincelette and Queen found that the partnership between Douglas County Libraries and Douglas County School District saved taxpayers $100,000 in just 1 year. Millions of dollars are being cut from school budgets, but districts can save money by utilizing the public library's online databases and resources, such as ebooks. As students get older and have less time, many lose their interest in reading. Public libraries can offer a larger variety of titles and offer incentives for reading. Some administrators, schools, or districts may feel that the focus should be on test scores and graduation rates and not realize how the public library can assist with this. Many schools or honor societies require that students volunteer or explore careers. The public library is able to help with this by offering resume writing courses, volunteer opportunities, GED classes, and SAT prep. By teaming up to share resources and instruction, libraries can also better meet digital literacy and citizenship needs. Public libraries can provide supplemental resources and support students outside of school on weekends, breaks, and after school. Those who can't physically visit the library can still utilize online databases, homework help, ebooks, and audiobooks for free. Public librarians can also deliver print materials to the school or bring a bookmobile for students to browse. Although libraries are free to use, there are many reasons why a child may not partake in these resources. Some families may live too far away from the public library or don't have transportation. Some don't have the time to bring the child to the library to set up a library card, or maybe immigrants who don't want to give out their personal information to obtain a card. Library partnerships that use students' school ID provide access to all kids and don't require that parents sign them up. For example, in my school district, we set up a partnership between the public library and our school district. We used the students' school IDs, and the PIN was the last 4 digits of their ID. That way, students didn't have to remember another username and password. With these cards, they were able to access online resources, and parents were still able to opt out. Both public and school libraries keep statistics on use to justify programs and services their libraries offer. One population that can be hesitant to visit the library is teens. By having the public librarian come to the school, they can reach out to all teens who are then able to learn about services and participate in programs. Statistics have supported the necessity of this collaboration. Vinslet and Queen's study of a library partnership indicated unanimous praise for the school public library partnership and an increase of 800% in shared resources available to the school. Weil's 2021 study showed that the partnership occurring in Fresno, California, increased ebook titles available to the school from 2,000 to 17,000, and also helped to increase the public library's usage stats. One of the barriers to creating these partnerships is time. Both librarians are busy juggling multiple responsibilities and may have limited time to collaborate. Research has found that the most beneficial collaborations are those that are repeated. The time commitment needed to reach the target audience may mean the public librarian has to spend a full day at the school in order to see all of the students. If the 2 libraries are not located in the same area, there is also travel time to consider. If the school librarian is a part-time employee, scheduling the public librarian's visits may be more difficult. A school librarian's schedule may be fixed and not allow them to leave the building, so meeting at the school library may be the best choice. As always, though, check with your partner, as they may prefer to meet after work and have coffee to discuss your partnership. A natural scheduling of events follows items already on each librarian's calendar. For example, the beginning of the school year during orientation and open house is a great time for the public librarian to speak to parents about the services offered by the public library. The end of the year also provides a great time for the public librarian to present to students about the upcoming summer reading program and other resources offered at the library, such as free lunches. Other national library events, such as Banned Books Week, are an opportune time to schedule corresponding activities. When I was at the middle school, our language arts department decided that they wanted the kids to participate in NaNoWriMo, which is National Novel Writing Month. Cinder by Marissa Meyer was popular at the time, and the author wrote her first draft during NaNoWriMo. I thought it would be a great way to promote the program by having her come to speak to our school. I reached out to my public librarian for help with funding, and we were able to have Marissa come and speak to the whole school about writing and NaNoWriMo. As a result, we saw the majority of the school participating and many students hitting their word goals. When getting started, it is important to know who the contact is that will be the best fit for partnering. Contacting the librarian directly is ideal versus targeting administration. If a school library doesn't have a librarian, find out if there's a teacher who would be a good option. Collaboration is easy when the 2 librarians are friends or at least get along, but can pose a challenge when beliefs, styles, and personalities clash. Both parties need to share the same vision and work past any differences in order to serve their community. Once the commitment has been established, each librarian should explain the systems that determine what is possible. For example, a school librarian may need to link all programs with education standards or their school's strategic plan. Both librarians should set measurable goals, collect data, and evaluate programs. You should be transparent in what you hope to accomplish and what value this will add to the students, school, and library. This information should be communicated regularly with administration in order to gain support for collaboration. Both school districts and public libraries can be slow in implementing changes due to the hierarchy and procedures that need to be followed, so planning in advance is important. One system that school librarians may need to work within is the AASL standards. Tying collaboration to these standards provides evidence that partnerships can better meet the standards and serve patron needs. When partnering, it's important to discuss what may impede collaboration and share your strengths and weaknesses. For example, if a school librarian hates teaching about research databases, this provides a perfect opportunity for the public librarian to provide this service. If you are viewing this webinar, you've already made the first step towards creating a partnership. Librarians should collaborate on a regular basis to check in and plan events well in advance. Another of the barriers to collaboration that can come up is staff turnover. Kammer and Moreland suggest creating a procedural manual so that collaboration can continue even if staff changes. Collaborating provides opportunities to market resources, library collections, and services of both libraries. The public library collection contains a wide range of books, including those that school librarians may not want to include in their collection. The public library can also provide additional copies of popular books, while the school library can promote free public library programs. Both entities can capitalize on each of the librarian's strengths and provide different perspectives. The picture I've included is from my middle school student book club that I invited my public librarian to attend. She and I had very differing opinions on what made a good book, and through discussion of this, we were able to demonstrate how to speak respectfully with someone even when you disagree. Plus, whenever kids went to the public library, they already knew someone that they could go to for help without feeling intimidated. When getting started, getting feedback from the target audience is essential. Librarians should gather information from students through surveys or a student advisory committee. During my first year as a librarian, I set up a library advisory committee, which included my principal, teachers, parents, and students. I was then able to create my overall mission with their input so that I could best meet the community's needs. Research shows that it is paramount to publicize events both before and after they occur. Suggested methods include newsletters, social media, flyers, parent emails, press releases, newspapers, magazines, and TV. Please keep in mind that children are protected under FERPA, SIPA, and COPA laws, which determine what information and images can be shared. The school librarian should be able to advise on what can be shared on social media. I want to recommend the ALA's Public Library and School Library Collaboration Toolkit. This document is amazing and is a great resource for creating an effective partnership. I've mentioned a few examples of partnerships throughout this discussion so far, but I would like to share additional examples of successful programs that were made possible by a library partnership. In the district where I worked, our elementary school libraries had 2 reading programs, Battle of the Books and Global Reading Challenge. The librarians at our 9 middle schools decided that we wanted to continue this reading challenge and created our own version of Battle of the Books. Public librarians were invited to participate as judges at both our school and district competitions. They also had our reading list of 12 books and ensured that the public library had print, audio, and electronic copies. Global Reading Challenge is another book competition that relies more heavily on the public library. The public library purchases the books that are then used by the students and also hosts the final trivia challenge. School librarians host meetings for the students to practice and check in with any questions. OtakuCon was one of my most successful programs when I was at the middle school. Based on student interest, I started an otaku club, which met once a month to discuss manga, anime, and Japanese culture. The club really wanted to host a mini convention where they could share their interests with others. The first year I created all the activities, and then the following years the students helped to host different booths. My public librarian assisted by posting flyers at our local library, as well as sending the flyer to all the libraries in the system to market to a larger audience. She also helped by judging our cosplay contest and paid for an independent cosplay business to come and do tutorials. The public library I collaborated with offered great programs targeted at our kids and teens. Study Zone was one of these programs. They also provided access to research databases that students could use for class projects and homework. To help promote these great programs, we posted flyers at the middle school, shared information on the school's social media, and included announcements in the daily bulletin to advertise. Summer Reading Program is a huge undertaking at the public library and provides a great opportunity to help kids read over the summer. At the end of each school year, I invited our public librarian to visit and discuss the SRP theme, talk about prizes and the program, and do book talks. One summer, the public librarian and I also partnered to create an event to champion literacy. Lunches were already being provided at the public library, so we took this opportunity to include other book-related activities that kids could enjoy while they ate their lunches. Two other programs that I would like to implement in the future are One School, One Book, and a Mock Newbery Award. For more information on this, be sure to check out the articles referenced at the end of this presentation, written by Bates and Webster and DeLapp and McGowan. Thanks for joining me today. I hope this presentation inspired you to start your very own library partnership.